hard to hold on to second place, but here comes Nemechek and Kenseth after him.
I believe Ryan Pemberton, crew chief for Joe Nemechek in that 01, I think they just keep getting that car better and better at this racetrack. His last 12 starts here, he's never finished better than 12th in those starts. He's up there battling not only for third, now for second, where Brendan Gaughan in the 77 got such a run off turn 2 on that backstretch.
And here comes Sterling Marlin. Don't count the veteran out of this one. He's bringing Dale Jarrett with him.
That silver bullet's on the move, boys. Looking good.
Steve Burns.
Mike, Joe Nemechek hit it on lap 116, said the car was loose, so they dropped air pressures. And you know, DW, you were talking about how they needed some good luck. Joe drove this very same car at Texas where he led laps before breaking a spark plug.
That car, you mentioned it, DW, they have had so much terrible luck this year.
Jimmy Spencer made an unscheduled pit stop. They put 4 tires on the Morgan McClure Chevy and sent him back out.
Well, that's some more of that Hendrick power now. Let's don't forget that. And they really they have some strong engines here this weekend. It takes a lot of power here. It takes a lot of horsepower. It takes good aero to go fast.
Elliott Sadler's Ford, Joe Nemechek Chevy, and the Dodges of Brendan Gaughan and Sterling Marlin.
And that 38 car, as Elliott always likes to point out to me, is his Texas car. And every time he runs that car, he says he runs well and he loves that car. And I said to him, why don't you run it every week?
Yeah, I mean, he's been fast all weekend. I think a lot like his teammate Dale Jarrett. The racetrack just got real loose in qualifying the other day.
Robert Yates has 6 wins here. 3 by Dale Jarrett, 2 by Davey Allison, and 1 by Ernie Irvan, who we saw Friday night here. Looks like Ernie looking in great shape.
Yeah, I went to that race at Wall Stadium, and he won one of the 10-lap heat races. And he looked good. Trickle about turned him over, but he got his old car fixed and got back out there and won the heat race.
Greg Biffle trying to scramble back and into the top 10. Right now he's in 11th place. 3.5 seconds off the lead.
And he's probably passed more cars than anyone. He qualified back in 13th. He really started sliding backwards, but you got to give a call to Doug Richard and that crew. They've had to hood up twice under caution. They adjusted the tow out in this car, and now he's up there battling Scott Wimmer in the 22 to get in the 10th position.
You know, just the fact that Brendan is up there, I mean, think about the damage he had on that car on that first lap. The whole back of that car is kind of knocked out of whack, but it didn't hurt it too bad, doesn't look like.
But that bright light in Joe Nemechek's mirror is the silver paint on Sterling Marlin's car. Marlin has just taken 3rd away from the battle between Brendan Gaughan and Dale Jarrett, and now he's right on the heels of Nemechek for 2nd. Matt?
Sterling Marlin had 102 laps last year in this race. He says the car goes through spells. It's tight, then it gets good, then it goes tight again. They made a small air pressure adjustment in both front tires as a problem on the Jeff Burton car number 99, guys.
Jeff had been up and down all day, had a car that could run in the top 10.
And he was in the top 10, but now he has a problem.
And it was the 8th place car as that unsponsored Roush machine comes to pit road. 2nd place, Sterling Silver.
Talk about veterans. Talked about DJ in that 88 car, the UPS car, all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. That's where his car's been. He's also going to battle Joe Nemechek in the 01. That would be the battle for 3rd now.
That's Grandpa Sterling Marlin up there too, guys.
Today, I guess they have a Grandfather's Day. That's a whole separate holiday.
Yeah, that's another day.
Father's Day.
That's another day.
Elliott Sadler sees his lead diminishing. 128 laps in here in Michigan.
We build over 700 engines a year with a staff of 70 people. The biggest problem we face is friction.
We're looking for 2 things: getting the most available power and keeping the engine alive.
One of the simplest ways to reduce friction in an engine is to use Quaker State, engineered to reduce friction.
We want to reduce friction because it's going to help us with gas mileage, power, reliability. In the last 7 years, we've been fortunate enough to win 8 championships, and Quaker State helped us get there.
The power to reduce friction.
How much time?
You're on.
I love scotch. That is good.
You're on.
You look awfully nice today. Maybe don't wear a bra next time. What?
We're on the air right now.
Oh.
In a simpler time,
Who's that handsome devil?
it took a simpler man to deliver the news.
I have some very urgent and important breaking news. Cannonball!
Will Ferrell, Anchorman.
Hi-yo!
Rated PG-13. Starts July 9th everywhere.
We can rebuild him. Better, stronger, faster. AOL 9.0 with top speed technology built in. For web surfing up to 5 times faster than with standard dial-up. Call 1-800-TOP-SPEED.
Ford Expedition, the first to introduce all of the firsts. First-in-class safety canopy system. First-in-class independent rear suspension. First in its class for cargo room. And Ford Expedition is the first and only full-size SUV with the powerful third-row seat. Ford Expedition, the full-size SUV that's full of firsts. Ford Expedition.
When it's variety you crave, try Subway's low-fat, carb-controlled creations. And now, introducing the new Atkins-friendly turkey and ham wrap. Stuffed with fresh veggies and Monterey cheddar, this is how you eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
Advanced Auto Parts. No matter when or where, for the best parts, people and price, we're ready in advance. Yeah, bring it on.
Nextel Cup Racing on Fox is brought to you by AOL. AOL members can double their You Promise college savings. Fram Air Hog High Performance Air Filter. Hog the Road. Subway. Eat fresh. And by Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. .132 laps complete. Marlin. His teammate Jamie McMurray has a blown engine. Sterling just pushed his foot down even further to go past Elliott Sadler and take the lead.
I think right now, you know, the way Sterling's year is going, leading this race is probably worrying about that engine is no big deal to him right now. Let me get out front and lead some laps here at Motor City.
Good day for fathers. Good Father's Day here. I mean, as far as leading this race, but as for the Gillette Young Guns, well, M3 Power invites you to enter the Gillette Young Guns Challenge. Each week a lucky fan wins $5 grand. Go to GilletteYoungGuns.com for details. Those are their point standings, not their running standings in this race. Where the highest of them is Matt Kenseth, currently 6th. There's Marlin's lead over Dale Jarrett. Couple of fellas who are feeling like young guns right now.
I just realized something. If Sterling wins this race, which he's well on his way, he's riding home with me. I'm going to have to smell that champagne all the way home.
He's liable to be a little while.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. He may not go home. He might just stay here.
Matt Kenseth trying to take 5th from Brendan Gaughan. Steve?
Mike, the problem Brendan Gaughan has right now is he's gotten very loose, and he also thinks he has some paper on the grill. In fact, he just told his spotter to tell Elliott Sadler's spotter in the 38 car, if I can get up to the rear bumper of him, I'm going to hit him just a little bit to try and clean that grill off.
And there you see it right there on the lower opening. And remember, that's what happened to his teammate Ryan Newman about 100 laps ago, back on lap 22, when he had to make a green flag stop.
And because there's so much pressure right there, that is not going to fall off until he gets up behind somebody.
But when we mentioned Ryan Newman in that 12 car, it's taken him about 3/4 of this race to do it, but he has made his way. He got the free pass back on the lead lap, and he's up in the 10th position. And how about the recovery from the man that left the drivers meeting early? Tony Stewart in the 20 car started dead last on the field. Now he's up there battling to get in the top 10, back in 11th.
Let's see if Brendan gets up here behind the 17 car, Matt Kenseth. I'd get right up next to him. You got to get closer than that. You can see the tape flopping around on the left corner of the grill there. That's the upper grill. But he's going to have to get right up against him to get that off of there.
That's the only way it will come off. He's going to have to get right there at it, change the pressure on the nose of that car.
It creates a void when you get right up under a guy like that, and it'll come off.
Now, we talked about Sterling Marlin. He's taken off ever since McMurray's blown engine. Since his teammate Jeff Gordon blew an engine, Jimmy Johnson has pedaled his way back in the field. Now back to 7th place, Matt.
Mike just took over in 7th position from Michael Waltrip. Now, Chad Canals has not told Jimmy Johnson to take it easy or back off. Actually, the issue that Jimmy has is the fact that it takes his car a little while to come into where he needs it. They made a track bar adjustment down around on his last stop because the car was just too free down in turns 1 and 2.
Rusty Wallace was a bit slow there, dropped back. Something happened to Rusty. And there was a bit of smoke from his number 2.
That's a cylinder. I think he may be experiencing some kind of engine problem.
Yeah, he just came by still.
Yeah,
you can hear
bad.
it. It's not on 8 cylinders.
More than likely, that's what happens here. You know, you break a valve spring. That's the weak link in every engine. Break a valve spring, and the valve goes down, taps the piston, pokes a hole in the piston. Oh, yeah.
Coming outside.
He's going to hear that a lot today.
Yeah.
Outside.
Not running clear and clean now. It's got that rattle in it.
Yeah, you can just see the RPMs right here. You can see it where it's just not turning near the RPMs it should be turning, probably more than 1,000 off.
Yeah, well, we call that the death rattle. It doesn't last long.
And right now he's about 2 seconds off the pace to Sterling Marlin, our leader. Now he is still in the 12th position, but he'll hear that outside a lot, losing position.
One thing that'll make you do is you'll ride with that left foot right on that clutch.
You know, another car that's been running in the top 10 quite a bit, Scott Wimmer in a 22 car, he just had to make an unscheduled stop. We talked about Jeff Burton earlier. He had a right rear tire problem. What about it, though, on Scott Wimmer, Steve?
Yeah, Larry Mack, he was having a great run. His car had started to overheat as well. They pulled some paper off the grill, and they also pulled some tape off the grill opening.
Now here's a study in contrast. Look at Sterling's line and look at Dale Jarrett's line from DJ's onboard.
That's where DJ's running. That's where you want to run if you can, because it's the shortest distance around the racetrack, and there's a lot of grip right around that white line.
And I think when we've seen him so dominant here in the races that he's won, that's where he's won it, running around the bottom.
In 2000 in this race, he was right around the white lane all day, and he really stunk up the show.
But you remember what happened to him early on? He got spun. Remember, he comes spinning down through the grass here, came back, took 4 tires late in the race, started about 10th or 12th, and raced his way to the front with just a few laps to go.
Hasn't been a great day for our points leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt.
Running back in the 19th position. And why is that significant? Because he's having a bad day and Jimmy Johnson's having a good day. Junior only had a 58-point lead over Jimmy Johnson coming into today's race. They have been battling tight all day. They've tried everything. Spring rubbers, wedge, track bar, you name it. The car just continues to slide the nose.
Now another of the Hendrick-powered cars, the Zero of Ward Burton, may have dropped a cylinder.
Well, we're getting to that point. We got 58 laps to go. And you've been zinging these things pretty hard here. Things start breaking, Jeff.
What's going on, Darrell, is the fact that all of these cars are turning so much more RPM. They're actually pulling about 10 points lower gear than ever before. We've seen a little puff of smoke come out of the Zero car. And because of that, the RPM level being up, Larry Mack, can you believe a lot of the guys are running a rev limiter chip to try to keep their driver from turning the engine too much? They need the gear to get off the corner, but at the end of these straightaways, they're turning way too much RPM.
Yeah, I had an interesting conversation with Elliott Sadler the other day. He said Robert Yates just defies them to get against that rev limiter and cut out cylinders. So what they put in there was a shift light that comes on about 100